Hey, happy morning, everybody. Welcome to another video. Today is going to be different from my past live videos that I've done in the past weeks. Today we're going to talk about more creative stuff. I know a lot of people in the group are wanting to stay creative, maybe never done off-camera flash, or prefer natural lighting and want to get better at it. So hopefully this video can help you see that the possibilities are endless when it comes to lighting, specifically, of course, natural and flash. So I'm just going to wait just a little bit just to see if anybody joins. If you're watching this as a replay viewer, thank you again for tuning in. This will stay in the group forever. So as long as the group is active, this will be here. So if you haven't already, please comment below your portfolio link. I would love to see how I can give you some tips, some feedback, or anything that can help you improve on your next shoot. Also, if you hear some is in the background, I do have my daughter. She is she's behind me eating. She had pink eye last week, so I've been watching her. Me and my wife been watching her for the past week. So yeah, if you hear her laughing or whimpering or snacking on something, that's what you hear is my daughter. All right. Almost 2 years old. Oh, there she goes. Yeah, I know. All right. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. As you can see, well, real quick, if you have not gotten this ebook, please leave in the comments, send me the ebook, or I need the ebook. Even if this is weeks old, like if this video is years old, weeks old, months old, it does not matter. Please still leave a comment. I will see it, and moderators will get back to you. Right now we have Nadia, so if she sees it, she'll let me know so I can send you the ebook. All right. So the overall goal again is to help you get more creative. All right, let's jump into it. No more wasting time. Okay, so this is the book. I'm actually gonna shorten it right there. There we go. So this picture will be in. Break it down how I got this shot. And here is the second page, my headshot. I need to get a new one. My hair isn't like that anymore. Frohawk, but no more Frohawk for me. Definitely will update that. All right, keep scrolling down. Thank you for downloading this ebook, and it will just tell you more about what to expect. And here are the gear. So the gear that I use for the pictures you're about to see is super simple. I don't have that much camera gear, which I usually rent out, but for this particular ebook, I'm working with the Nikon D750. I have the Godox 8200 flash, and I also have gels. And these three components, like these three here, are super necessary in order to achieve certain looks. Not even the camera. You don't have to have a Nikon. You can shoot with Sony or Canon or whatnot. Even flashes, you don't have to use. Pretty much, you don't have to use what I have here, but it still helps because there's a reason why I've chose these types of equipment, and you'll see in a second. But for the D750, it's definitely the sweet spot for what I want in terms of megapixels, and it's a full frame camera, and I love it. The 8200 packs a punch. Definitely can pretty much outshine the sun when it's on the highest setting, so it's definitely helpful. And then also the gels, when you want to get really creative and add a little bit of spice and spark to your images. So definitely something to think about. Continuing, I work with modifiers, stands, and creative tools. So modifiers will be your grids, your softboxes, anything that will help modify the way you want your light from your off-camera flash to pretty much output. So that's pretty much how that works. I'll explain that more. Stands, especially if you don't have an equipment, stands are great so you can mount your flashes onto them. And then creative tools. I don't use a lot of creative tools. The only tool that I use will be my phone, and you can actually reflect images on your phone, which is super useful. But also have different other tools as well to get really creative. All right, so the types of light that we're going to be discussing on today will be off-camera flash. So pretty much off-camera flash has the ability to control your scene in terms of light. Basically what that means is that it's artificial light, right? So if you are trying to create a certain image and you don't have that available sunlight or light source, then off-camera flash, you'll be able to do that. Now, I know a lot of you all might feel intimidated by that because honestly, off-camera flash is something that isn't really, especially if it's your first time. So I recommend going on YouTube, or if you want, just leave me a comment below letting me know that you would love more about off-camera flash, and I would love to do that. But basically, just to sum it up, it's artificial light that you'll introduce in your scene to create a overall mood that will pretty much give you the idea or give you the photograph you want. So we'll explain more on that. And then natural light, obviously self-explanatory. This is pretty much available light, sun or a light source, let's say lamps or let's say a vehicle, high beams, anything that isn't required of you to camera flash. So this is definitely useful. I always will be a number one, and it might surprise people, but I'm always going to be an advocate for natural light because natural light is amazing and it's right there when you need it, especially natural light, because a lot of times people get the sense that natural light isn't that appealing, and that's not true. So I just want people to understand that natural light is where we all pretty much start at, but as you continue on with your skills, you're going to be introduced to other factors and other ways to do things. Yeah, I hear you, baby. I hear you. I'm telling you all, like, she is my assistant. She is my assistant. She will let me know. So, yeah. Anyway, so basically that's how, well, that's pretty much what people think about natural light. In terms of that, you can actually do something that's super cool, which you can combine natural and off-camera lighting together. So pretty much OCF and natural light combo, and this is where you'll expose for the natural light in your camera, and then you'll introduce your on-camera flash, and you can create amazing images just by incorporating both. All right, and then down here is get creative. So these are some of the shots that you see here are my creative shots. So you got gels, which gives you that, colorful pop, and then you can see effect around this couple, and that's from my creative tool. Then you have reflections that you can use, and then also you can create your own sunsets. Now this is super cool. I've done this plenty of times in weddings, and it just blows clients out the water. Literally, I had a wedding planner cry during the session. Like, she literally seen the photo and she started crying. The wedding planner, she's not even getting married and she's crying. So that's really impactful if you know how to use off-camera flash. All right, so let's get into the example shots. So this is the first shot. Amazing bride and groom. Still talk to them to this day. Matter of fact, they just had a baby, so me and my wife are still friends with them. And that's another thing. Clients will become friends depending on who you are. Okay, so this one here is basically a shot in not Los Angeles. It's in Temecula, beautiful venue. So what gear did I use to get this shot? So Nikon D750. I used a 35mm focal length. Shutter speed is 1/125. Aperture f4, ISO 640. So going down here is the diagram. So that's one thing that I love that I was able to incorporate is a diagram, because I don't have footage of me, behind the scenes. But this will give you a clear example of how I set everything up. So as you can see, I put the gel right behind either the bride or the groom, not in the middle. And the reason why, because you do not want that burst of light to hit your camera. It's okay if you're trying to go for that look, but it's not what I wanted. So I would say definitely set your flash 3 whoever you decide to put it behind. So I used CTO gel because I was trying to get the sunset look. It's optional, you don't have to do that, but again, it depends on what you're trying to do. My flash power is at 32, And if you continue a little bit further down, you'll see that I have another light on my left side, same settings on my flash and gel, and then my Nikon D750. So some of you might be like, what is 30 CTO gel and all that stuff? I would definitely say, let me know if you want me to break that further down in a different video, because that's a whole entire video in itself. But just in a nutshell, CTOs is color temperature orange. And you can look this up. So type in YouTube CTO gel, and then it will be a bunch of videos that will better explain it in terms of exactly what it is. But basically, it's just giving off a very orange kind of sunset look to it. And that's really something that I wanted to portray in this photo. As far as flash power, again, researching on YouTube, but if you have a flash, behind your flash, either you have an LCD screen or some type of there's some type of I forget the word, but basically it's like a gauge to tell you how much power you're at. But usually 32 power is my sweet spot that I always start with, and then I adjust from there. And then it gives you more equipment used, so Nikon D750, 2 Fox flashes, 2 MagSpheres, and MagSpheres is pretty much the diffusers that soft the light, just so that way it's not too bright on the couple, and then 2 CTO gels. And then I always will have a shot breakdown so you know exactly what I did. So lighting, you know, of course, you need 2 flashes, and then you'll place the flash behind the bride or the groom, 3 feet, and then you place the second flash to your left and set it at 32 power. And then it goes to posing in terms of what I wanted for them to do, connect with the kiss, and then take a few shots. So definitely do that. So always take a few shots, even let the couple know, like, hey guys, I'm just going to take a few test shots just to make sure that everything is good to go. So always just mention that. Just tell them, hey, I'm going to take a few shots, and then go ahead and do it. Never feel rushed. They paid you, so they trust you. All right. So here's the second shot, and this one, if you can guess, this is natural. This is not flash at all. This is all natural lighting, and that's the beautiful part about natural light, is that you can still get photos that look amazing, just like if you were to use a flash. All right, so let's talk about it. So same thing, Nikon D750, 7mm, 100 and f2.8, ISO 400. So simple diagram. So all I did was I positioned the bride to be directly in front of the groom while the groom back is turned towards my camera. And then I had the sun, so I used the sun to my advantage and pretty much angled them to where the sun hits her left side of her face, and that created that pretty much that split tone effect where it's light on one side and dark on the other. So that's pretty much all I did. And then again, I just took some test shots to make sure everything is good to go. Give me 1 second. All right. Again, took some test shots to make sure everything is good to go, and then it all worked out. So literally, one thing I used, I should have put the lens in there as well, but that's fine. Nikon D750 and the focal length here. Oh yeah, I know. My daughter said, I hope you guys are paying attention. So, and again, shot breakdown. For this shot, I'm using natural light, and it tells you pretty much everything I just said here. So you get to see all that. And then the posing. And again, just have fun with it. So you don't have to stick with one pose. As soon as you see that it looks good in your camera, have her turn her head. Maybe she's looking in the camera. Maybe he turned his head, and then you use him as a foreground. So just have fun with it. All right. So this is the other shot right here. This is the other shot right here. What we have is pretty much more on the creative side. So as you can see, it's silhouette on a wall, pink gel, and the echo effect, which is super cool. So same thing here. Here are my settings. If you want to pause it, you can. Well, you can't pause it on live, but on the replay video, you can pause it and see it. And then here's another diagram that shows you exactly how I got that shot. So a fun tip is that once you use these gels, I would say ask the bride what's her favorite color, and then kind of give her like some type of surprise shot like this or something different. It's really cool. Just an additional touch. I always do shots like this after the engagement shoot is finished. Like once I know their shots is finished, I always have time to, or pretty much sometimes I have time to get shots that I want for my portfolio or just something fun. So same situation, I pretty much have them 3 feet away from the wall, put the light behind the groom or the bride, and then I use a fractal crystal, which you can actually, oh, by the way, I'm sorry I didn't mention this, but all the equipment that I'm using in this ebook will be listed at the end of the book. So all you have to do is click it and it will take you directly to that, pretty much directly to Amazon or a site that has that equipment. So I did all the work for you guys. So all you have to do is click the link and it will take you straight there. Only if you have the book though. You have to download the book. So please let me know. It's free. No money is needed. I'll send it to you in your email. Just let me know. All right. So that's how I got the shot there. And here's the equipment that I've used. And then the shot breakdown. Again, I just know exactly what I'm doing. And you have the creative tools, which I told you just about a second ago, the lighting and gels and the posing. All right, awesome. So here's another shot, natural, and it's, as you can see, I'm trying to do a pattern here. So it's off-camera flash, natural light, off-camera in terms of example shots. So hopefully you pretty much caught that caught that pattern there. All right, so here's another shot. This is honestly, if I had to give an award to the shots that I've done in my career as a photographer, this right here, this shot will probably be voted as couples favorite. Like I'm talking about all different types of couples will tell me that this shot is like one of their favorite shots, and that's really cool to know because I definitely want to do more shots like these. But yeah, just throwing it out there. Anyway, so this one is another natural shot, and for this pose, for this shot, I use a D750, 35mm, 640, f.4, 160. So as you can see, I really tried to give you a picture of how the day was. So it was cloudy, so it blocked the sun, which created a beautiful soft light onto the couple. And then what I've done was I had them pretty much, I instructed them to pose like that. And it's funny because the way that she's flicking her dress, you would never know that. A lot of times people tell me that they didn't know she actually threw her dress. So what I've done, I told them to stand near each other or close to each other like that. And then I told her to throw her dress on the count of 3. And I had my camera on burst mode. So this shot almost looked like they were dancing or salsa dancing or something. So I thought that was pretty cool. So now what I would suggest when you do have a situation like that is pay attention to the sun and the clouds, because that will be your best friends for that day. And trust me, a lot of times couples will tell you, oh, I wish the sun was out. Just let them know this is perfect. This is actually every photographer's dream, to have a diffused sun, because now doesn't matter where we turn to or look at, you will have flattering light on your skin. So that's just something to tell them. And equipment again, Nikon D750, shot breakdown, lighting. Again, it was a very cloudy day, and because of this, it created softer light, which will pretty much eliminate all the hard shadows. And for the posing, again, I just have them pretty much just face to face, and then told her to throw her dress back to give a unique look. All right, so this shot is actually one of my favorite shots. This is not Photoshop. I did not add that cloud circle in the middle. That's pretty insane. And it's, to me, that's a very rare occasion to have something like that happen on an engagement shoot. This was actually captured at Venice Beach in California. For those who that don't know, I'm actually from Los Angeles, and I moved to Texas about, I want to say, a year ago. So yeah. So for this one, settings, pretty much straightforward. Don't have to really explain much there. So now I have 2 lights, both left and right. And I believe I had one person ask me like, hey Tim, why did you have your lights in 2? Like, why is it that, why is it like that? And the thing is if you shoot this in one light setup, so if you shoot this in one light setup, what happens is that if the person is taller than your subject, it will cast a shadow on their face. So in order to eliminate that, I suggest to have two lights, just so that way both subjects' faces are properly lit, and that's why you see it. That's why you see them pop so much, because of that. And you will have to pretty much like Photoshop the light stands out, because you don't want the stands to be too far away from the couple, unless you have a very nice flash to do that. Otherwise, you'll bring the stands closer to them and then Photoshop the stands out, and then you'll be fine. And then also I had two mag spheres. And again, this is just to soften the light. I just want you all to understand, don't get overwhelmed when you hear diffusers and mag spheres and all this stuff. The job of these modifiers is to soften light or to throw light further, to make light tighter. It's really simple. Don't overwhelm yourself when it comes to that. And again, here's the shot breakdown. The lighting, place your subject together and have your lights aimed at their faces, and then have a mag sphere to make sure it's softer. And then, and that's another thing too, I didn't mention it. So you all can see the reflection on the couple here. Again, this is not Photoshop. This is actually the real deal. So when you are at a beach, sometimes, especially a big beach, sometimes you will have it to where pretty much like the sand is reflecting, but the way the sand is really like thin. So you can't really see that it's sand. It's almost like solid looking. So just keep that in mind when you are on the beach, to kind of look out for surfaces like that. All right, so here we go. And this is one of my favorites, the sunset shot. All right, so here is the diagram in terms of how that will look. Oh, I'm sorry, not the diagram. This is the diagram here. My computer kind of slow, so if it's delayed, please forgive me. All right, so here are the settings that I pretty much have used. So D750, 50mm, 160, 1.8, 800 ISO. And honestly, I want to actually do a behind the scenes video of how I do sunset, customized sunset shots like this, because I feel diagrams won't serve the best, and it might get a little confusing when it comes to that. So yeah, I would just try my best to explain here. So all I've done is super simple, like we did with the other shot, CTO gel. Make sure you have it behind the groom or the bride, and you're going to set the power at 32 just to test it and adjust your lighting from there. And then all you're going to do is pretty much and again, I'm going to do a video on this. Basically, you want to, before you take the shot, when you're looking through the camera, you almost want to see the flash just a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because it's going to actually come off of his shoulder. I'm going to zoom in. So as you can see, you can't see the flash, but you can't even see my arrow. You can see my arrow. So like right here, this is where the flash head was. I was able, before I took the shot, I moved my body to see a little bit of the flash head, just so it can create this flare off of his back. And that's just a little tip that you can use to really add. That's just a little nugget that can really add so much to the photo. Now, if you were to shoot it where you couldn't see the flash, it would still look great, but this gives it a more romantic, kind of a surreal feel. And the couple did not ask for this. They actually, again, I shot all the stuff that they wanted. I had time to do some cool dramatic shots. This is one of their favorite shots out of the whole entire session. So just think about that. And again, I will make a video behind the scenes to give you a better detail on it, because a lot of brides, when I tell them, when they ask, oh, we want to do a sunset shot, and then if they miss it, I'll tell them, don't worry, I can recreate the sun. Like, it just blows their mind. The fact that you can actually recreate the sunset is just amazing. All right, so we're going to just continue down. Shot breakdown. And here is the last shot. So this one here is one of my favorites. This was an elopement on a beach. It's funny, I think it was a private beach, but we didn't get any permission to do this. We actually it was just me, the officiant, videographer, and the couple. That's it. So we were able to get away with this shot. So this one is a natural and off camera flash combo. So here are the settings: D750, 120 millimeter. Shutter speed is super high, and it's a reason for that. F.4 and ISO 200. So the first thing you want to do before you start using your flash is expose for the background. And what I mean by expose is literally take a shot on your camera, look at the image, and the goal is that you want your background to be visible. If your background is overexposed, too bright, don't worry about the couple. Just make sure the background is exposed and looks good in your camera. The couple will be dark. That's the whole point. You want them to be darker than the background, but most importantly, just make sure the background is what you want your overall image to look like in terms of that. And then we'll come back to that in a second. I'm gonna get back to that in a second. Oh, it doesn't even, okay. So I thought I had the after, which I know I do, which is this one. So okay, let me back up. So once you expose, boom, 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 then you will turn your camera flash, your off-camera flash to 32 power, and then bow. Now you still have that same background. All you did was introduce the light. That's it. So that way it's super simple. So let's look at it again. And mind you, let's look at the background for a second. It's the same. So you see the background here, boom, and then boom. The only reason why it's a little bit different is because I'm showing you the edited version. I did not find the straight out of camera when I introduced the flash. So that's just throwing that out there. So let's do here. Here's a diagram. So it's the ocean, the mountains, and exposed the background, 32 power. Took the shot, and I had a mag sphere to soften the light. Now, I talked about the posing and the background exposure, and also just have fun with it. So basically, once you get that shot, now you can start posing them any way you want to in that one location. Don't tell them to do too many crazy things. Just tell them to pose them in that one spot. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can do all fun stuff with that. All right, so that's the end of the book. I wanted to keep it very minimum on time. We're almost at 30 minutes on time, which is perfect. So real quick, I wanted to see if, let me see 1 second. Let me refresh this here. All right, so right here are the gear links. Now you cannot click this on, obviously you can't click it on the live video. This is in my ebook, so please, 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 you can message me, comment below. I suggest you comment below because I get to see it faster. But comment below. I need the ebook. I will send it to your email as soon as possible, so that way you can scroll down here. Literally, all you need to do is, and I'll show you just like a quick example. But all you got to do is click this right here, Nikon D750, and then bow. It goes straight to the Amazon for you. That's how simple that I want it to be. Let's see here, 39. Okay. So again, I'm gonna zoom out. So again, once you get the ebook, literally all you have to do is just scroll over the link, and you can see my cursor turns into a finger. That's because it's a clickable link that it will direct you to that gear or lens or modifier, whatever you want. And same thing going down. So flashes, mag gels, everything. And also too, if you use my code TimothyMilton, once you, like for instance, the mag gels or mag sphere, that's not on Amazon. That's actually on MagMod. That's where I get my modifiers from. So once you get there, use my code and you'll get a discount for your purchase. And then for my reflections, like the tools, same thing. All right, y'all. So I hope this video helped. Please let me know. Like I said, my daughter in the background, she's amazing. She is my assistant. Right now she's telling me like, Daddy, you almost time. People got to go back to work, you know, or get off that live video. You know, people got to get back to whatever they got to get to. So I'm gonna listen to her. But like I said, message me, let me know. I appreciate you all. I'm super. There's more coming, more live videos coming. Stay tuned. And yeah, I'll talk to you then. Have a good day, everybody. Happy Monday. Let's crush it this week. And I'll see you on the next video. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.